Hey there, and welcome back to First Period, Mr. Washington. I'm Mr. Washington. I'm going to be your social studies teacher for the next 15 minutes. Listen, this class is going to be a little different. Whereas I realize we have not had class for maybe a week or so, things are changing. I was busy doing some things in the community, so I apologize for that, but we back and we got a whole lot to talk about. So first things first, I want to talk about is black businesses and why it's so important to support black businesses, specifically the local black businesses. Now, it's important for us to thrive, and there are certain key points that I'm taking from a black businesswoman. She's been that's from Augusta. She's been in business for over 36 years. Yep, about 36 years, and she has thrived at it. She's one of Augusta's success stories. Her name is Mrs. Wanda Grant from Wanda's Hair Salon. If anybody has ever looked good in Augusta, they probably because Wanda touched their head and blessed it. Amen. So listen, I want y'all to pay attention to this little interview I got going on for us here, and I'll be back shortly. It's Wanda Grant from Wanda's Hair Salon to the class today. First period, Mr. Washington. Give her a round of applause, class.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Understand business angles and different things like that as far as black business and things like that, so we can go forward because we want to see things progress in our community, right? Ms. Grant, how long have you been in the cosmetology business?
Well, actually 36 years, going on 37 years. I've been a stylist since I was born, I believe, because growing up, that's all I did. Mama worked at nights. I would be in the bed, combing the hair, washing, sleep during the day. I wasn't even in school yet, so all my life.
Right.
But actually on paper, 36 years.
36 years in this game.
I went back to school. Well, I continued my education for a hair loss practitioner. So I'm a certified hair loss practitioner. So I'm doing a few things with that hair loss and trying to get everybody some hair, keep the hair on their head because you know, they with this new age stuff, the weaving and braiding and end up bald headed.
Tell me, how important, 36 years in this game, you are the OG of hair as far as Augusta is concerned. How important is customer service to you?
Customer service is extremely important.
Right.
Because people time is very important.
Right.
My time is very important. So my thing is, when you have an appointment, I'm always there 30, 45 minutes before my clients. I want to be on ready when they come because I know when they come, they tired, they've been to work. They don't want to be in there sitting 3 and 4 hours before you get to their hair. So my thing is, book right, don't overbook. Do every 2 hours, 2 and 3 hours apart so that way you got their undivided attention, they have yours. So you know what they want. You don't make no mistakes. You can take your time. You're not rushing. So customer service is very important because when people come to get their hair done, they want to get their hair done and go on and do what they got to do versus sitting there 2 and 3 hours waiting, or you at the mall, or you're eating and they sit in the car waiting on you to come calling. That's not professional. Right. So my thing is, if everybody can get on that page, we have a lot of nice stylists around here.
Yeah. It's funny you should mention overbooking. A lot of the young ones now, they don't in your time, well, I guess this is still your time, but when you first started out in this game, y'all had like appointment books and different things like that. You know, you got somebody to take you, looking at it specifically, you know, going over different times. They don't do that kind of thing now. It's kind of like you hit the inbox. Can you do my hair? On Saturdays, I was on Saturday at 2 o'clock, and then all of a sudden you got all these people doing hair at 2 o'clock on Saturday. Talk to me about overbooking.
Well, overbooking is never a good thing.
Okay.
Because you know you deal with people's time. You have and deal with this corona thing. You really shouldn't be overbooking at all right now.
Right.
Because due to the safety precautions. But overbooking is never good because people time is important. And when I get a client in, I want them in there no more than 2 hours, 2.5 the most.
Okay.
And so once I get done with them, in about 10, 15 minutes, somebody else is coming. So get them in, you get them out. You got Booksy, you got WhatsApp, you have Style Seat, you have Square. Once you get with them and you can set your books how you like them, you wouldn't have no reason to overbook because you know what you got coming and you know what you know what time you're getting out.
Right.
So my thing is no need for anybody to be overbooking these days.
Right.
And it's not professional at all because people's time is important.
Right.
My time is important.
That's true.
I want to go home, go to bed, because I've been worked all day. Because I'm gonna come in early. So overbooking is not good. People's not dealing with any kind of foolishness like that anymore because people can go somewhere else. You had them sitting there all day, they going somewhere else. I don't care how good you do have. They want their time, they want to get in and they want to get out. So I try to get my clients in and get them out. If they want to stay and talk a few more minutes, we got to go. But all right, then I'll call you. But I got another client coming.
That's
in
right.
a few minutes. So overbooking is never good. Never good.
Good.
Which I have done it, but I'm not doing it anymore.
What are some of the steps of hair loss treatment? How does that work? What does that include exactly?
Well, first I would ask them to come in for a consultation. And normally when they come in for a consultation, they have 2 sessions.
Okay.
On one session, I would do the pH. I would check the pH. I would check their to see what their iron levels are.
Okay.
I would have them bring the records in from the doctor, and I would see what their vitamin D levels are.
Okay.
So once I do that, so while they're doing that, and I'm processing the urine samples
Right.
and the saliva samples, I would have them fill out a questionnaire.
Okay.
And once they do the questionnaire, I would go over the demographics and everything that they wrote, make sure everything is correct that they put on paper. So I would want to know all of their medications that they're taking. I want to know what are they eating.
Okay.
I want to know how are they sleeping,
Right.
because sleep plays a big part of your hair growth. So I would remove their unit
Okay.
and ask them to let me examine their hair and scalp. So I would start at the front area of the head, and I would epilate to see if any hair loss, pardon for section and all that.
Right.
I'll see if they have any hair loss or if they're shedding or anything.
Okay.
So I would epilate for shedding,
Okay.
and then I would use it's a tool that we use, is Zyto, and I would have them put their hand on it. It's a hand tool, and it tells me any kind of deficiencies that's going on inside their body.
Okay.
And so once I get that print out to see what's going on with their body, what they define in, and it tells me, now we're not a doctor, but we just do this for hair loss.
Right. Absolutely.
So it's a Zyto machine, and they put their hand on it, and it tells me what they have, what they're defining in. I use that tool, so I write down all the findings that I have.
Okay.
And then once I get the findings and I call them back for the next visit, then I let them know what type of hair loss they're dealing with.
Okay.
So it may be CCCA, FFA, cicatricial, alopecia, alopecia areata, any of those they may have some, or many of the other ones.
Right.
So, but I would take all my notes, put them all together, and have them come back in. Then I would offer her a plan. Some plans are with stem cells. Some are not with stem cells. It depends on how much hair loss or how bad of hair loss they have. So once I do that, and we put on a payment plan, I would have them come in at least once a month, and I would detox their scalp.
Okay.
I would give them a steam treatment. I would do a high frequency treatment, which it stimulates the hair. It stimulates the scalp for hair growth.
Okay.
And then I would we have little stem cells, and we use with the airbrush machine and shampoo them and all that, and do the stem cell treatments.
And the stem cells come in the shampoo and the conditioner too, right?
Yes.
So all that's a part of the treatment.
It absorbs. It's nothing like we use with needles or nothing like that.
Right.
It's just something that is a shampoo and a conditioner and a little jar of stem cell that we put in an airbrush machine and we put through the scalp. And then once they have that one treatment, I will send them home with the airbrush system and stem cells and shampoo and conditioner. So when they're not with me, they can still shampoo and keep up with their hair.
Well, There you have it. From Augusta's own Madam C.J. Walker, Wanda Grant has restored and grew and nurtured many girls' hair or women's hair in Augusta, or heads, or whatever the proper term is in the cosmetology world. You can ask about Wanda Grant all around Augusta in this here cosmetology game, and there will be much respect on her name. Listen, the beauty salon, the restaurant, the church, barbershop, and even schools have been pillars in the African American community. These institutions have kept us in a business game, and we want to be sure that we're putting forth a good product to other folks so they will shop with us. If not, then they take their monies elsewhere, and then that kind of leaves us out the game. This interview was really just to kind of push the idea of better customer service, better branding in our community, so that we can be the force that we want to be in today's society. In other news, do y'all remember that little stunt Grovetown Elementary pulled? Oh, I know you remember. What happened was, let me give you a quick little rundown. What happened was Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, or Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, however you want to put it, were being inaugurated into the White House. This is just after Trump and his Klan members and his Klan member supporters had rushed the White House, right? So anyway, on the 20th of January, which is the inauguration day, the women all over the country decided to pay tribute to the first female in the executive office. She is the first female vice president in the United States' history. Black, white, blue, purple, green, orange, silver, gold. She's the absolute first. She's also an AKA, and she pledged at the Alpha chapter of AKA over there in Howard University, a historically black college and university, much like the one we have here in Augusta, Payne College. Anyway, so when the women all over the country decided to pay tribute to her, they decided to do Chucks and Pearls, and they had t-shirts that said Chucks and Pearls. Chucks and Pearls was, you have to, if you know, then you know, but it was a tribute to her. Everyone did it. My mother did it. I want to say my sisters took part in it. We had women at my school that did it. Women did it everywhere, all colors, all shapes, everyone did it. Well, up there in Grovetown, they felt like this was some sort of threat, some sort of political threat to their freedom of speech or something, because they went to the principal of Grovetown, and the principal of Grovetown they went to the principal and they complained, right? And when they did this, the principal of Grovetown, instead of telling this person who somehow felt uncomfortable about Chucks and Pearls, somehow she felt uncomfortable with that. Instead of this principal using the education that God gave her or her money gave her, and said, well, this is a national celebration of a historical day, triumphant day in America's history. No, this principal decided to reprimand all these women who are black up there in Grovetown. Y'all, up there in Columbia County, y'all favorite county up there. Y'all know what Columbia County is on the good side of town. Everybody kind of runs over there for refuge. Child, please. Anyway, the principal decided to take up for the person who felt threatened or uncomfortable about Chucks and Pearls. Listen, I've felt threatened about many things. As a black man, I think it's kind of our birthright in America, especially, to at some point feel threatened. I can tell you I have felt threatened about loose dogs. I have felt threatened about being in the woods by myself and these men come up in here deer hunting. I don't want to get accidentally shot. I have felt threatened about the police riding too close up on my bumper. I felt threatened about a Chinese man looking at me too hard when I'm walking in the store getting ready to pay my hard-earned money. I tell you what, I have felt threatened about going inside a church that ain't culturally acceptable and sitting there for the entire service. And I've been to quite a few of them. Whole lot of things I felt threatened by. I tell you what I've never felt threatened by in my life. Chucks and Pearls. Like Chucks Taylors, the shoes, and pearls that go around one's neck. Jewelry and shoes have never threatened me. Not even the Confederate flags that some of those same teachers still have on their bumper cars. Never felt threatened. I felt like it was stupid that they would have the flag of a loser and call it heritage, but whatever. I've never felt threatened by Trump flags that they still wave out there in Columbia County to this very day. To this very minute, they still wave those flags. Never felt threatened by it. Don't like it, but never felt threatened. So I'm having a hard time understanding how one could feel threatened about chucks and pearls, jewelry, shoes, and a t-shirt. And it was homage to a historical day in America's history. You know, we're not going to get that day back. There won't be another first female vice president ever again. She is it. That was the one moment. Only other thing we can do now is go forward. But the principle, this is what gets me. The principle, solidified, justified what the lady was fighting about, what the lady complained about, and she sent these women home. Imagine getting sent home from your job for some chucks and pearls. Well, just when I thought Columbia County was gonna let it ride because no one else had said anything about it except that woman who made that video, and I'm gonna post that video when I find it on the page and on the Facebook page and on the YouTube page. When I thought Columbia County was gonna let it ride, they decided not to let it ride, and they are having a protest. The information is in my caption. They're having a protest, and you know I'm gonna be there. I'm going to be there looking like new money. I'm going to support the cause because I stand with African Americans all over the CSRA, all over the country and abroad. I stand with you. I support you. You have all of my support. Okay? There's another episode. I've been in conversation with a lot of powerful people in the city lately. And so we have a lot of things moving. That's why you haven't seen much of First Period Mr. Washington in the last week or two. But all that's going to change. There's another episode coming up. And I want you to make sure you subscribe and go watch it on YouTube and leave some comments here and just do your thing. If you're looking for your hair to be restored, or if you're looking so you know someone who needs their hair restored, Wanda Grant's information is also in the caption. And if you're hungry, you need to call Chelsea Fryer from Chelsea Cooks or Fryer Cooks. The best pork chop in town. The Chelsea Fryer has the best pork chop in town. You heard it here first on First Period Mr. Washington. Until next time, I love you a little bit. Take care of yourself.